The stars stretched endlessly across the black void of space as an alien fleet of sleek, high-tech ships cruised toward Earth. Their silver and blue exteriors shimmered as they cut through the darkness, with the fleet's commanders aboard each ship eagerly anticipating their conquest. The mission was simple: invade Earth, crush the puny human forces, and claim the planet as the latest addition to their vast intergalactic empire. As they neared Earth, the alien commanders chuckled to themselves. They couldn't believe that such a primitive world had dared to challenge their might. They had surveyed Earth's defenses from afar, and to them, it looked like a hopeless cause. Ancient war machines, rusty tanks, and battle mechs that hadn't been used in decades were all the Earth had to defend itself. The aliens scoffed at the idea that these relics of war could pose any real threat to their advanced technology. One of the commanders, Vorac, sneered at the images of the old war machines displayed on his screen. "These humans are foolish," he muttered. "We'll wipe them out in no time. Their weapons are nothing compared to ours." But the alien fleet's overconfidence was their first mistake. The aliens had no idea what Earth was truly capable of. They underestimated humanity's resilience, and they underestimated the strength of the warriors who still believed in Earth's old power. As the fleet continued its approach, a different scene unfolded far below, on the surface of Earth. While the rest of the world had long since abandoned the idea of active defense, relying instead on peace treaties and diplomacy, there was one team that had prepared for this very moment. They knew what the aliens didn't. Earth was far more dangerous than it seemed. In a hidden underground bunker, Captain Ethan Graves stood before a row of massive, rusted war machines. These weren't the sleek, shiny weapons the aliens were used to. No, these were the old war machines: giant battle mechs, heavy tanks, and battle-hardened warships that had been abandoned for years. Their metal exteriors were covered in dust and rust, but beneath the corrosion lay an intimidating force, waiting to be unleashed. Ethan's team, a group of elite soldiers who had trained for this very day, stood ready to challenge the invaders. They knew that the fate of Earth rested on their shoulders. "Do you think they're ready for this?" one of Ethan's soldiers asked, his voice filled with both excitement and uncertainty. Ethan's eyes narrowed as he stared at the war machines. "They're about to find out." The scene cut to the alien fleet, now closer to Earth's atmosphere. As they descended, they deployed their scouts, small, cloaked ships that glided silently across the sky. Using advanced cloaking technology, the alien ships blended perfectly into the background, making them almost invisible to human radar. Their mission was clear: find Earth's defenses and neutralize them before the full-scale attack began. As the alien scouts moved in, the first strike hit Earth's surface. Cities all over the world were suddenly lit up with explosions. Buildings crumbled and fires began to rage in every corner of the globe. The alien fleet had launched their attack, and they were confident that nothing could stand in their way. After all, who could fight back with such outdated weapons? But as the bombs fell and the cities burned, the humans' response was not what the aliens expected. There was silence, a chilling, eerie silence. The aliens were confused. Where were the Earth's defenses? Why wasn't the planet fighting back? They had expected a quick victory, but something didn't feel right. Then, as the dust settled from the first wave of strikes, the ground began to rumble. The old war machines, dormant for so long, slowly came to life. Huge tanks rumbled out from their hiding places, their treads crushing the earth beneath them. Towering mechs, once thought to be useless relics, powered up with a hum of energy as their massive metal arms swung to life. The warships, still covered in rust and grime, fired up their engines and took to the skies, ready for battle. It was then that the aliens realized the true mistake they had made. The old war machines, which they had dismissed as irrelevant, were fully operational. The humans had one last surprise for them. The first old war machine fired its massive cannon, sending a shockwave through the air as the blast tore through the alien ranks. The aliens were thrown into disarray as their ships were ripped apart by the unexpected force. The fleet's commanders quickly scrambled, trying to regroup, but they were unprepared for the strength and power of these ancient machines. Vorac watched in disbelief as his forces were struck down one by one. "Impossible," he shouted. "These machines should be useless." But as Earth's defenses, long thought to be obsolete, began to retaliate, it was clear that the alien fleet had seriously underestimated the power of humanity's old war machines. The first surprise strike shattered the invaders' confidence, and the humans were far from finished. They had only just begun their counterattack. The stage was set. The battle for Earth had only just started, and the aliens, with all their advanced technology, had no idea what they were about to face. The humans were ready to remind them why they should never underestimate Earth. As the alien fleet continued its relentless bombardment of Earth's cities, the commanders felt a rush of excitement. Their advanced weaponry rained down, leveling entire skyscrapers and causing massive destruction across the planet's surface. It seemed like victory was inevitable. The aliens believed that humanity had no real chance against their overwhelming firepower and technology. But what they didn't know was that they had made a grave mistake in underestimating Earth's old war machines. Out of the chaos, the ground began to shake as the dormant old war machines slowly powered up. The massive tanks, battle mechs, and warships, once thought to be useless relics, now rumbled to life. Despite their weathered, rusted exteriors, these machines were far from outdated. They were built with human ingenuity, designed for war, and armed with advanced weapons that still rivaled any alien technology. The first old war machine, a towering mech, stomped onto the battlefield, its massive metal fists swinging with incredible force. As it stepped into the city's wreckage, it unleashed a barrage from its powerful EMP cannons, sending a shockwave through the air. Alien drones and robotic soldiers caught in the blast were immediately disabled, their systems fried by the electromagnetic pulses. Meanwhile, Earth's tanks rolled forward, their heavy treads crushing the aliens' automated defenses. The massive guns of the tanks fired round after round, tearing through the alien forces with incredible precision. Explosions rocked the streets as debris flew in all directions, and the air was filled with the sounds of war, roaring engines, screeching metal, and the deafening blasts of weaponry. In the chaos of battle, human mechs locked with alien robots in brutal, one-on-one combat. The alien machines were sleek and fast, but the old war machines, though slower and more cumbersome, were built to endure. One mech, in particular, locked its giant fists around an alien robot's neck, squeezing until it cracked open like a tin can. Sparks flew from the alien machine's joints as it crumpled to the ground, destroyed by the strength of the human fighter. Alien commanders watched from their ships above, stunned and frustrated. The overwhelming power of their advanced technology seemed useless against the humans' ancient machines. Vorac, a seasoned captain in the alien fleet, stared in disbelief as one of his prized ships was taken down by a single shot from an Earth tank. The massive tank fired its main cannon, sending a high-energy shell straight through the alien ship's defenses, tearing it apart in a burst of flames. Vorac gritted his teeth, the reality of the situation beginning to sink in. He had underestimated Earth. He had thought humanity was weak, relying on old technology. But now it was clear. The humans had something far more dangerous than advanced tech. They had the power of will, ingenuity, and a fighting spirit that the aliens hadn't accounted for. As the battle raged on, the aliens realized that this fight would not be as easy as they had imagined. Humanity had fought back with everything they had: old war machines, new tactics, and a fierce determination to protect their home. The aliens were in for a much harder fight than they ever expected. The true battle had only just begun. As the days of battle dragged on, the humans began to gain ground. Every victory, no matter how small, fueled their courage. Captain Ethan Graves and his crew had become symbols of defiance, showing that even against overwhelming odds, humanity was capable of remarkable things. The alien forces, used to crushing their enemies with sheer technological superiority, were now faced with a different kind of threat: the resilience of the human spirit. Earth's military forces, led by Graves, began to adapt old Earth military tactics that had been forgotten for years. They executed ambushes, hit-and-run raids, and guerrilla warfare, outsmarting the alien invaders who relied solely on their advanced weapons. The aliens had underestimated how much humanity had learned from its past wars. They were used to fighting battles on their own terms, but the humans had turned the tables, using the environment and their ingenuity to fight back. But the real turning point came during a crucial battle in a city that had been reduced to rubble. Captain Graves' team was cornered by an overwhelming alien force, with nowhere to retreat. In the chaos of the fight, one of Graves' closest soldiers, Bonner, realized they were all about to be wiped out. Without hesitation, he stepped forward, using himself as bait to distract the aliens and buy Graves and the others time to escape. His sacrifice was heroic, but it cost him his life. The death of Bonner was a devastating blow to Graves and his team. But instead of despair, it ignited something inside them. Grief and anger filled their hearts, and they fought with renewed intensity. Bonner had given his life so that they could continue the fight. In the midst of the battle, Graves, though grieving, gave a passionate speech to rally his troops. "We fight not just for ourselves," he said, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "We fight for every soul on this planet. Our homes, our families, everything we hold dear. We will not fall today. We will show them what humanity is truly capable of." His words struck a chord with every soldier present, and a fierce determination filled the ranks. The loss of Bonner wasn't in vain. It had awakened the true fighting spirit of humanity. With newfound resolve, the humans began their counteroffensive. Using cloaking technology they had stolen from the aliens during earlier skirmishes, they launched a surprise attack, infiltrating the heart of the alien fleet. The aliens, still reeling from the human tactics, were now blindsided by the unexpected strike. The old war machines, once considered obsolete, became the backbone of this counteroffensive, and with them, humanity began to turn the tide. In the heart of the alien fleet, explosions erupted as the humans wreaked havoc on their enemies' command ships. The battle was far from over, but for the first time since the alien invasion began, the aliens were forced to play defense. The power of human resolve and tactical ingenuity had shaken the aliens to their core. The fight for Earth was far from finished, but humanity was no longer the underdog. They were rising to meet the challenge, and they were doing it with everything they had. The tide of battle had shifted, and the aliens would soon learn just how dangerous underestimated humans could be. The final battle had begun, and it would determine the fate of Earth. The stakes were higher than ever, and humanity's warriors fought with everything they had left. Captain Ethan Graves and his team stood at the forefront of a full-scale assault that would bring them face to face with the heart of the alien fleet. This would be humanity's last chance to drive the invaders away, and they were determined to make it count. The skies above Earth became a battleground, as the human fleet unleashed a devastating orbital bombardment. Using the old warships that had once been retired to history, the humans launched their final counterattack. The space above Earth erupted into chaos, filled with explosions, laser beams, and flying debris. The old war machines, despite their age, proved their worth once again. Captain Graves, determined to lead from the front, gave the order to fire all available weaponry, pushing the old war machines beyond their limits. The camera zoomed in on Graves' face as he stood in the command center, his expression fierce and resolute. His hands gripped the controls tightly as his soldiers fought in space and on the ground. Every weapon, every missile, every energy blast was aimed at the alien flagship, a colossal vessel that had been the center of the invasion. The aliens had underestimated humanity, but now they would feel the full force of the human resolve. On the surface, the battle raged on. Humanity's forces stormed the alien fleet's ground units, charging into the heart of the enemy forces. The old war machines, battered and scarred from their earlier fights, fought on with undying determination. Tanks plowed through alien defenses, while mechs fought hand-to-hand against alien robots, their fists colliding with the alien machines in brutal combat. Explosions rocked the ground, sending dust and debris into the air, and the sounds of gunfire and metal clashing filled the atmosphere. The alien forces, once so sure of their superiority, were now struggling to hold their ground. Human soldiers fought with a fire and intensity that no alien force had expected. They were fighting for their families, their homes, and for the future of their planet. Amidst the destruction, Captain Graves found himself face to face with the alien leader, Vorac, in a brutal one-on-one duel. The battle between them was intense, each one using their skills to gain the upper hand. As they clashed, Graves couldn't help but reflect on the many lives lost during this war. Bonner's sacrifice weighed heavily on his mind. The memories of those who had died fighting for Earth, soldiers, civilians, friends, pushed him forward. With each blow, Graves thought of his team and his home. The visual of the Earth flag, now raised high amidst the wreckage of the battlefield, symbolized everything humanity had fought for. It stood as a testament to their resilience, their unwillingness to back down, no matter the odds. It was more than just fabric. It was the spirit of humanity, waving proudly even in the darkest of times. The final moments of the battle were intense, and the air was thick with tension. As Graves and Vorac continued their fight, the alien leader began to falter. The aliens, so accustomed to winning, were now seeing their empire crumble beneath the strength of human will. Humanity had won the final battle, not through superior technology, but through heart, determination, and an unbreakable will to survive. The Earth flag, waving amidst the ruins, was a powerful symbol of their victory. It was a reminder that even when the odds are impossible, even when the world is on the brink of destruction, humanity will always rise, united and strong, to defend what is theirs. The battle was over, but the story of humanity's fight would be told for generations to come. The last battle had arrived. Humanity's forces, battered and bruised, but still standing strong, made their final push. With every weapon they had left, they launched a full-scale attack on the alien fleet. The skies above Earth were filled with explosions and the thunderous roar of weaponry as the remaining old war machines fought their way to the heart of the alien armada. Captain Ethan Graves, his face hardened by the hardships of war, piloted the final old war machine, an ancient titan of metal and power. Graves' hands gripped the controls with steady determination. His team had already fought tirelessly, but now it was his turn to strike the final blow. The alien mothership loomed ahead, its size towering over the battlefield. But humanity had one last trick to play. As Graves locked onto the mothership with all his remaining weaponry, the tension was palpable. For a moment, time seemed to slow. Then, with a final command, he unleashed everything. A devastating barrage of energy blasts, missiles, and artillery hit the alien mothership with explosive force. The alien ship trembled, and then, with a mighty explosion, it was destroyed. The remaining alien fleet, stunned and shattered, began to retreat. Victory was in humanity's grasp, but it came at a great cost. The alien fleet had been wiped out, but Graves' heart was heavy. His soldiers, who had fought so bravely, were exhausted. They had lost many good men and women along the way, including his close friend, Bonner. As the dust settled and the alien ships drifted into the distance, Graves stood alone in his cockpit, looking out over the destruction. Earth was safe, but the price had been high. He had won, but the weight of the sacrifices made was not lost on him. The victory was sweet, but the pain of loss would stay with him forever. As the alien ships retreated, the surviving human soldiers stood together, weary but victorious. Their faces were covered in sweat, dirt, and blood, but they stood tall, proud of what they had achieved. They had defeated an advanced alien fleet and proven that humanity's resolve was stronger than any technological advantage. Captain Graves, though relieved, couldn't shake the emptiness inside him. He had led his team to victory, but they had lost so much along the way. The camera panned over the battlefield, showing the destruction left in the wake of the war. The once invincible alien fleet was now in ruins, scattered across the Earth's atmosphere and surface. But amidst the wreckage, humanity stood victorious. The survivors gathered together, honoring the fallen. Graves stood among them, his heart full of pride and sorrow. The final shot focused on Earth's cities, which were beginning to rebuild. The once destroyed landscapes now showed signs of recovery. The old war machines, which had played such a crucial role in the battle, were finally laid to rest. Though they had been relics of the past, they were now symbols of humanity's strength, resilience, and ability to adapt. The machines had protected Earth, but now it was time for a new era to begin. As the camera pulled back to show the Earth healing, Graves and the other survivors stood united, ready to rebuild and move forward. Humanity had triumphed, but they would never forget the sacrifices made. The story of their victory would echo through history as a testament to the unbreakable will of mankind. Earth had been saved, and the old war machines would always stand as a reminder of the power of human determination.